two things that the algorithm actually cares about. The algorithm isn't deciding whether your video is good, it's running a tiny little test in a room of strangers, and that test is the only thing standing between your video and the 10,000 views that it didn't get. So I want to take the whole thing apart today because I think a lot of business owners are fighting something that was never actually the enemy. You post a video, it does 200 views, and it just kind of sits there, and you go, the algorithm must hate me. It buried my stuff. I posted at the wrong time, but none of that is actually what happened. What actually happened is that your video walked into a small room, auditioned, and it didn't get a callback. And the good news is, once you understand the audition, you can pass it. So here's how it really works under the hood. And it's simpler than the gurus make it sound. When you post, the platform doesn't blast your video to everybody because it can't. It has no idea yet whether it's any good. So it shows it to a few small people first, a slice of your own subscribers, plus a handful of strangers it thinks might be a good fit in the small room. And then it just watches what that room does. If they click it and they stick around, the platform goes, okay, interesting, and it opens the door just a little bit wider to a bigger room. If that room likes it too, the bigger room again. And it just keeps doing that room after room until the video either runs out of people or stops performing. That's the machine. Every viral video you've ever seen just keeps passing the test, room after room after room, until it's standing in front of millions. So that 200 views and dead thing, that's not a punishment. That's just the first room saying, not for us. The video just stopped getting pushed because the test data came back weak, and the platform isn't going to keep showing something that the first room didn't want. It's protecting the people on the other end. It really doesn't want to hand a stranger a video that they're going to scroll right past. Now, here is the reframe that I actually think matters because it changes what you do on Monday. The algorithm is not a judge, it's a matchmaker. YouTube has basically said this out loud, that the system doesn't pay attention to videos, it pays attention to viewers. Its entire job is matching the right video to the right person so they stay on the app just a little bit longer. So you're not trying to impress a judge with a great video, you're trying to make the match obvious. And that one shift is where the big three of this whole thing live. So let me actually hand you the system. And this is why you can't just lean on the people who already follow you to save a video. That test room is mostly strangers on purpose. The platform already assumes that your followers will be nice to you, so that's not useful information. What it actually wants to know is whether someone who's never heard of you will stop and watch. So a video can do totally fine with your existing audience and still stall out because it never won over to the strangers in the room, which again is why the match has to be obvious. You're getting judged by people who owe you nothing. Number one, you have got to make the match easy, which means being consistent about who your video is even for. So this is the mistake that I watch people make constantly. One week, it's a video for brand new business owners, and the next week, it's an advanced tax thing for people who are doing 7 figures. Next week, it's some trend that you jumped on that has nothing to do with either, and the platform is sitting there genuinely not knowing who to test this on. When your topics are all over the place, the test room is a random mix. The data comes back muddy and the video flops, not because it was bad, but because it got shown to the wrong strangers. So pick a person. Make videos for that same person over and over. And I know that might be boring. It's also the entire thing. This is actually where I lean on a tool to keep myself honest. When I'm planning out a batch of videos, I'll use Syllabi to keep all my videos pointed at the same kind of viewer, so I'm not accidentally making one video for total beginners and the next one for experts and confusing the whole machine. You could do the same thing in ChatGPT and honestly just keep a running note of exactly who you're talking to and hold up every idea against it. The tool isn't the point, the consistency is the point. The platform can only match you well if you keep handing it the same signal. Number two, the click. So once your video's in that little test room, the platform is really only watching two things. And the first is, did they click it? This is your thumbnail and your title doing their job or not doing it. And there's actually a number that you can go check on this. For most channels, somewhere around 4 to 6% of people who see your video will end up clicking. If you're sitting under 3, that's not a content problem, that's a packaging problem. And the fix is in your title and your thumbnail, full stop. Don't rewrite the video, rewrite the promise on the outside of it. Number 3, the hold. So they clicked. Great. Now, did they stay? This is retention, and it's the one that the algorithm leans on the hardest because a click that you immediately abandon is actually a bad signal. It tells the platform that you overpromised. So if your title and your thumbnail write a check in the first 30 seconds it can't cash, then you're worse off than if nobody had clicked at all. That's the clickbait trap. Big flashy click, instant drop off, and the platform quietly stops pushing you. What you want is people clicking for the right reasons and then staying because staying is the thing that whispers to the machine, that was a good match. Go find more people like this. And almost all of it gets decided in the first 30 seconds. That's where the room makes up its mind. So the thing to obsess over isn't how do I keep them for 10 whole minutes, it's how do I not lose them in the first 30 seconds. And what holds someone early is pretty consistent. You name a real problem that they actually have so they feel seen right away. You said something in the first minute they hadn't already heard a dozen times, so they're not bored. And they can tell fast that you're going to hand them something that they can use, not make them sit through a 9-minute video waiting for the payoff. Get those three right up front, and the drop off flattens out. And honestly, a flat retention line is the most attractive thing your video can walk into a little test room holding. So I know just make better videos that people watch longer is not advice, it's a fortune cookie. So here's the version that you can use. You only have to win two numbers. Did the people click and did they stay? That's the audition. Everything else, and I mean basically everything else, the posting time, the hashtags, the tags, the trending audio, all of that is in the last 1%. It's not nothing, but it's the garnish. The real work is making the same kind of video for the same person, packaging it so they click for the right reason and then holding them once they're in. So here's what I'd do tomorrow morning. Don't touch your hashtags, don't reschedule anything. Go to your analytics and look at exactly two numbers, your click rate and your average view duration. And then when you find the spot in your last video where people dropped off, that drop is the most useful thing on your whole channel because it's the room telling you exactly where the match broke. Fix that one problem in the next video, do it again and again, and really that's it. The algorithm isn't against you, it's just a matchmaker, and it's honestly dying to push your stuff. It just needs you to pass a small test first. Same person every time, a click for the right reason, and a video that holds them once they're in. Get those three pulling in the same direction, and the rooms start getting bigger on their own. If you want a tool that helps keep your ideas aimed at the same viewer so you stop confusing the machine, that's part of what I use Syllabi for. There's a link in the description and there's a free trial so you can see if it fits the way that you work. And if this made the algorithm feel a little less like a black box, subscribe and I'll keep pulling these apart with you.